guys, good morning. What's going on? Sarah Hall here, the Wealthy Optimist. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of I've been quarantined for too long and am now making lots and lots of videos. You're welcome. Not sure if this is what you want, but this is what you get. Today I'm going to be talking about tips for working from home since I've been working from home for the past week and actually have been working from home for years as a writer and author and somebody who has tons of experience with being alone a lot, because when you're a writer you spend a lot of time working by yourself. Also some tips on social distancing, so if you're interested then stay tuned. First up, I'm going to go backwards through this. I'm going to talk about social distancing first. Social distancing is incredibly important right now. I cannot stress enough how incredibly important it is that you are staying the F away from other people. Yes, you, Susan, who keeps going out and having picnics with her friends at the parks. Stop it. And Karen, yeah, I saw you yesterday meeting up with your friend and going to the cafe and grabbing lattes to go. Just because they're open for takeout doesn't mean that you should get a group of your friends together, go get takeout coffees, and then sit on benches and enjoy them. I mean, that's what normal life looks like for you. It's not what normal life looks like now. We cannot pretend that we can keep on going on, living our normal lives in this crisis that we're in. We just can't. I live in the UK. I live in London. Right now, restaurants, pubs, bars, everything, businesses are shut. They are open for takeout though. And I am strongly recommending that you don't go to places for takeout. First of all, I'm sure that most places are very clean and they take good care of their personal hygiene, especially in a crisis like this. I would hope that they are. But unfortunately, we don't know that. And you don't know how many people have touched that cashier or touch that pay point service, or touch those things that you're touching at the stores, or touched whatever before you're touching it. You know, how much interaction has gone on throughout the day before you're touching it, and then you're touching your eye or touching your ear or licking your hand or whatever it is that you do subconsciously without knowing it, because we do a lot of these things. So my strong recommendation is to stop doing that. Yesterday was Sunday and I myself went for a walk. I went for a 3-hour walk along the river. I am very, very grateful that I live in an area where I am able to go out into open spaces where there are not people around me. And unfortunately, I saw a lot of children's play parks that are still open with parents taking their kids to the park to play. Okay? This is not okay. This is not okay. In Canada, my sister showed me that they have put garbage bags over top of, like, you know, not garbage bags, big tarps, you know, like over top of the play areas, caution tape around them so that parents don't take their kids to play there, because they shouldn't be, because kids are dirty. I know you love your kids. I love your kids. I'm a godmother, but they don't understand germs, and they're touching everything, they're licking everything, they're putting things in their mouths, they're touching other kids, you know what I mean? Like, they spread germs like crazy. And in a time like this, you shouldn't be taking your kids to the park, period. I know they need exercise, but take them for a walk, you know, take them out, just you and your kid or you and your children, you know, go on a family thing instead. Keep them away from other families. That's the social distancing aspect of it. They're not asking you to social distance yourself from your own family. You guys can still do things as a family and together, but keep yourself away from other people. So at least 2 meters apart is the recommended distancing. So, sorry, I'm moving my arms way too much and my back still really hurts. Okay. So, that being said, I went out for a walk on the river. It was beautiful yesterday. I ended up going out for 3 hours. I really needed to clear my head and it felt amazing and it was beautiful. I actually got lots of beautiful pictures of the area with nobody in them because luckily, lots of people weren't out. The few people that I did see that were out were very respectful, and when we had to cross paths, we either covered our, pulled our scarves up over our mouths and stayed, very far away from each other, or one person would stand back and wait. If it was like a bridge with a short, narrow, one person would wait for the other person to go before crossing, so we weren't getting within, any close proximity of each other. These are the kinds of practices that you need to be practicing right now and taking very, very seriously. As in regards to self-isolation and working from home, which is leading into that now, one more note too is that it's very important to go inside and get exercise. You're not in risk in big open outdoor spaces. You're in risk when you're in close proximity to other people and when you're touching things that other people have touched. The virus lives for up to 12 hours that we know of on metal surfaces, on other surfaces, on different kinds of things. So this is why I really reinforced and sounded a little bit angry about kids being on playgrounds. It's just not a good idea, okay? And it works for adults too. If you're touching bridges and you're touching things and you're touching stuff that people would have touched, just don't do it, okay? So it is very important though, please do go out and get exercise. Please take care of your mental health in this time. Go to the park, meditate. Don't go have picnics with your friends. Avoid meetups. If you're gonna meet up with a friend, do it one-on-one and keep your distance from that person, because again, you don't know how seriously they're taking their social distancing. They could tell you they're taking it very seriously, but they could have also met up with a bunch of people yesterday, and thought that they were being safe about it, but you don't know, so just be safe, protect yourself, and by protecting yourself, you are therefore protecting the community. We are all in this together. We have to take it seriously. Right now, the UK is at par with the death toll in Italy at the rate of where it went from day one on February 26th, their first death, to March 5th, our first death, March 6th, our first death. We are at exact par of how fast the deaths have happened. It's very scary, and it's very important to keep that in mind. That if we don't take this very seriously now, even if the government isn't strictly enforcing it, they're just advising that we should, you need to take it seriously. It's up to you. It's your responsibility as a citizen of this world to make sure that you do your part and stay away from other people right now. Okay, that being said, working from home. Okay, so working from home can be a really enjoyable experience. If you set up an area that makes you feel happy and peaceful, and if you make sure that you have a separate workspace outside of where you would normally do other things like reading or watching television or relaxing, that's really going to help bring up your I'm working from home vibe and mentality. Another great thing that I love about working from home is being able to work in designated chunks of time. So when you're at an office, you're kind of always on, right? And you're always working, and you're there, for your whole 8 hours or 9 hours, and you're working the whole time. And sometimes you take little breaks, or you go outside for a walk, or you take your lunch break, or get some coffee or whatever. But when you're working from home, you have a bit more flexibility, which is something that I love, in the sense that something I do, excuse me, I'm not sick, don't worry, is something that I do is I will work in 60-minute chunks where I turn off my phone, I focus specifically on one task, and I work really hard at it, and I get to put all my focus into it, and it's really good. And then I stop, and then I'll take like a 15-minute break, and I will go and do something else, completely turn off work for 15 minutes, and it feels really, really good. And then you're able to rededicate that time again. And I like to work in either 45-minute or 60-minute chunks like that. If that's not something you've tried before, try it. It works really, really well for me. That's something I've done for many, many years as a writer. So I really do recommend trying that. And when you're working from home, it's really important as well too to stay hydrated. Okay, take your vitamins, get some fresh air coming into your house, eat healthy, okay? Taking care of your mental health. I love having either, some positive affirmations on in the background, some relaxing ambient music that helps with stress relief. I love to brainstorm with my work. I work with Invent, and we've been doing like virtual breakfasts and online meetings, which have been so great because we get to check in on each other. We get that camaraderie that we used to have at the office, except now we're doing it online. So that's been a really big blessing. There's all different types of things like that you can do to make it not such a scary and lonely transition. Switching your meetings to virtual meetings is great. You get to, and something else that I've been doing as well too, when I do have virtual meetings set up, I take time to get up, get dressed, I do my makeup, I dress nicely, so that way I feel like I'm going to work. You know what I mean? That's not necessarily something that I did when I'm just writing, when I was working on my books and stuff like that, or when I do my writing, or when I work on my own YouTube videos, or whatever I'm doing in my own spare time. That's not something I normally do unless I'm filming a YouTube video. Then obviously I get dressed up. But when I'm going to work with my colleagues, I like to still feel like how I felt at work. And that works for me. So find your groove, find what works for you, see where you can, and work. Your employers are taking this time to be really flexible and feel the needs, and they want to make sure that psychologically, everybody's doing good. Everybody is taking care of their mental health as well, because this is a big time of transition. It's a big time of a lot of fear for a lot of people. I know that in the UK, especially in London, it's one of the places in the world where we have the most people who are from somewhere else, like very multicultural, their families aren't around. So just making sure that when you are self-isolating, you're keeping in touch with your family, you're keeping in touch with your friends, taking advantage of FaceTimes, taking advantage of, being able to talk and catch up with people, getting off of text messaging sometimes and instead just calling somebody on FaceTime, setting up, one of my colleagues today was talking about how they're doing like happy hours with their friends, and, all getting together once or twice a week and having a drink at 5 o'clock. I mean, these are fun ideas. You can get creative. In some of the WhatsApp groups that I operate for women in London, we're doing movie nights. So we'll like all vote on a movie, and then we're all watching it at the same time and like laughing and talking about it. There's lots of different ways to feel together as a community, even though you're doing your part to keep the world safe by staying home. I hope that this video brings you some value. I would love for you to share with me some tips that you have on how you're shifting into working online, how self-isolation has been feeling for you, and what kinds of at-home exercises that you've been doing. Maybe you can share them in the comment section. Please, if you have some videos that you've made, share them so that my network and my community here can also see yours as well too. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Love you.